Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back into the video from Grand Line Review, and today we're checking It's Officially Done. So I do think this is going to be the fact that Wano was finished. I really liked the final chapter. Yes, there was no action. Yes, it's disappointing that Yamato's not joining the crew, but the moment with Momo and the other guy... I'm terrible with names anyway. When they found Luffy and that and got the flag and everything, I really liked it. I thought it was a really nice way to end Wano. So let's see what Grand Line Review thinks of this, shall we? I really liked it.
Wano is over. Yeah. 4 years of storytelling has officially concluded.
4, that's crazy.
I'm a bit of a loss for words, which isn't good, because saying words, it's kind of my whole thing.
Sure job.
Chapter, I am a stone soup of emotions. I feel like there's a bit of everything. Satisfaction, hype, empathy, disappointment, surprise, bewilderment, and many more.
Everything.
We are going to get smack bang into things, because we do have some new Straw Hats, sort of, but I don't think things played out quite how anyone expected, particularly with Yamato.
Yeah.
I am legitimately shocked that Yamato didn't join the crew.
I'm very surprised, but...
honestly, like, one defining character trait since introduction. The fact that Yamato desperately, and I mean desperately, wants to leave Wano and have a grand adventure at sea to live
like Odin
did.
Yeah.
There was even that whole part after the raid where Yamato was like, yo, it's me, Yamato, your new crew member. And I guess it's not so much that it doesn't make sense, because I can think of at least one very good reason why Yamato maybe can't join the crew right now. But it's more that this feels like a very abrupt and, in my opinion, not particularly well-explained shift. I mean, sure, let's accept the logic that Yamato wants to follow the path of Odin and thoroughly travel around Wano. Great. That'll take what, like a week at most? It's not that big of a country. So that maybe 2 if we really want to take our time goes by, and then what? You're just trapped again, desperately waiting for someone to come.
Because the borders are still closed.
He's probably effed off somewhere, becoming the Pirate King already. So I don't know. I something about this I don't buy.
Seems a bit off, does, yeah.
A bit off. Because we are so late into the end game of One Piece that it really does feel like it's now or never. As for the good reason why Yamato maybe shouldn't join right now, that would be Odin's journal, because Yamato simply knows too much. And having someone like that aboard the ship...
Oh, yeah, maybe we give away too much too soon.
Going into the saga. The way I thought it would go down is that this is it. Oda's ready to reveal all of the mystery cookies he's been hoarding in the story jar.
Hold on to them as long as possible.
But if we're not prepared to give out all of the delicious cookies, then having Yamato on the crew is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just going to become really difficult to explain why Yamato can't tell them everything that was in the jar. So looking at this the kindest way I would say that both Yamato and Momonosuke have a bit of a mutual understanding from this jar. An understanding that they can't actually tell the Straw Hats what was in there for various fate-related reasons. Although I think it would have been really cool to have a scene where Momo and Yamato offered to tell Luffy everything, but him just flat out refusing.
No, because it's happened before, hasn't it?
It's about Luffy making the most of his fun, goofy adventures. So yeah, I don't know, there's a couple of weird things about this arc ending that maybe doesn't feel like Oda's A-game. And we're not even done there, because I do have a couple of other things. But first, something I really loved is that Yamato didn't join, but we more or less recruited 3 more Straw Hats in one go. Because we've left...
Pretty much, because he was like, look, here's my flag.
...crew members, just as we left Vivi and Karoo on Alabasta. And the more I think about it from that angle, the more satisfied I become with it. Because if there are any 2 characters in the series who deserve that honorary position, it is Kinemon and Momonosuke. These 2 have been traveling with us for
Kinemon, that's the
10 years of real-world time. The entire New World era has largely been playing out with them in the center of the storm. They've helped out on Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, Zoe...
Oh god, yeah, they were with them for a long time,
so
yeah.
much in terms of making progress towards the ultimate goal of finding the One Piece.
Yeah, since Punk Hazard, that's mad.
We get to whatever the final fight is, all 3 of them are going to be on board along with Vivi and Karoo, just to have that final full composition of Straw Hats. Momonosuke breaking down in tears was also quite touching, though.
Yeah, it was nice.
Especially after all of the angry talk with Kinemon. It gave me exactly what I wanted from this here Big Momo, which was to express that he's still a child, but without falling back on his pervy character quirk.
Yes.
And I love that as soon as it happened, Kinemon just face palms like, they've got a long way to go. Nami and Zoro's reactions are also worth mentioning here as a nice juxtaposition. Nami has the more proud mother in tears happening.
Yes, she does. It was quite nice. She was like, no, let him. He's still a kid.
More casually, oh, my child, how embarrassing, lol. You know, as if he's never bowed down and poured his heart out to anyone. And if he were to do it, it certainly wouldn't be in front of his greatest rival, that's for sure. The scene where Luffy gave Momo the Straw Hat Jolly Roger gave me some real
Loved
chills.
it.
Because
Sick.
the last time he did something similar was with Fisherman Island, and back then Luffy was honestly a rookie talking out of his rubber butthole and really picking a fight that he had no chance of winning at that point. But now Luffy really feels like he has the authority to do something like this. One of the set-in-stone 4 emperors who everyone in this world is going to think defeated Kaido one-on-one. And when I think about it like that, Wano feels pretty damn safe. And it makes me really proud of just how much Luffy and the crew have grown. Because when he did that on Fishman Island, I distinctly remember saying to myself, I mean, yeah, those are great words and all, Mr. Rubberman, but if any reasonable power wanted to take Fishman Island, then there's probably nothing that you could have done.
Yeah.
And of course, another reason why I love it is because we just hit another slot of our 2022 bingo. Luffy didn't literally claim that Wano was his, but what happened is still exactly in the spirit of that. Luffy put his mark on Wano as a warning to anyone with a desire.
So if they come for it, yeah, he'll take them out. Yeah.
That is also far from the only one we hit this chapter, because Act 3 of Wano is now over, but so is the arc as a whole. So we are getting very, very close to a bingo, or a bing, as you all insist, because it only has 4. Although I should say I've decided not to claim the new Straw Hat slot, because when we wrote that, I think we all meant that we'd have a new core Straw Hat coming aboard the ship, and we don't, so that will remain blank. But yeah, Wano is over, and that's surprisingly
crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's unlike anything else. Even comparing it with other mega arcs as apples to some sort of non-fruit. For those of us reading weekly the whole time, we've spent just over 4 years of our lives.
It's mad, it's only been like...
And there's a theory
how long have I been reading weekly?
Generally people experience enough mental
only a few months.
growth to become completely different people every 5 years or so. I definitely feel that. When Wano started, I was a very different person. I also feel fairly confident in saying that this will be one of a kind. I highly doubt that we will ever see a single arc as long as Wano again. So in terms of long-form stories...
Because we got like, what, 3 years that Oda was saying he reckons?
It's also so gigantic.
I think it could go longer, but...
a lot of time to process. I mean, right now, Acts 1 and 2 to me feel like completely different arcs due to how long ago they happened. One feature I quite liked about this ending, though, was spending the time telling the story of Wano to all of the Wano people. Because it
on stage,
arrived on the island, and all of the school kidlets were learning about the greatness of Lord Orochi and the evil Kozuki clan. But actually, just on that, there was a part that kind of weirded me out, and it was the line that the Kurosumi were born to burn, because... why? For as thick of a bungle nut as he was, Orochi did actually start his life out as an innocent victim.
Yeah, he
his grandfather was a
grew to be a bad person.
Punished for his horrendous crimes. But after that, the rest of the Kurosumi clan were mercilessly hunted and most quite successfully murdered, including the children. That is a really dark part of Wano's history, and it kind of doesn't sit well with me that we're just doubling down on that. Like, Orochi was not born evil. His existence is more like the sins of the Kozuki clan, manifesting and punishing them for all of the aforementioned child murder. And Kanjuro was another example of this. He was a poor child whose parents were murdered, and so he became a blank canvas of hate, ready and willing to paint an indiscriminate massacre of Wano. Like, something dark, super dark, happened on Wano. And it happened whilst our heroes, the Kozuki clan, were in charge and overseeing it all. So I'm not so on board with the simplicity of just continuing the Kurosumi prejudice here, because that means that we really haven't learnt anything from history, and these mistakes are destined to be repeated again. Maybe not with the Kurosumi clan specifically, but the general attitude goes beyond just them. Also, hi, this is Future Liam, coming to you from a time where I've already finished editing this video. Okay, how glorious it is, man. Parsley, I'm pretty jealous. But I am here for a reason, and it's because I have a bit of an addendum on the whole Orochi thing, because apparently a native Japanese speaker on the Reddit has confirmed that this line doesn't sound as bad in Japanese.
So, yeah, I seen someone mention this on Twitter, the translation's slightly off.
Opposed to the whole Kurosumi clan. Although this user did go on to state that even in Japanese, and this is a direct quote, the line apparently still sounds a bit, quote, Hitler-esque. But there we go. Back to the actual story of Wano's salvation, though, Oda did something kind of cool here. Because the story began with the raging storm and the vassals standing at the port. And I thought that was a really great decision, because in our fictional reality of those events, that's when the vassals thought that the story was going to end.
Yeah, they thought they were going to do it.
Against Kaido anyway, but at that point, they lost any hope of thinking that they could actually win. So it's nice to use that as a launching point to victory. And it was also quite satisfying to see Toko playing alongside Hiyori for the final curtain of Act 3. Oh, and also seeing Hiyori play without her mask. That's a pretty big thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
Like a return to normalcy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yourself and all of sort of fluff. And there's even a close-up of the mask sitting stationary by her side to emphasize just that.
Oh!
Was the group shot of Momonosuke and the vassals. It almost felt like the end of a JoJo part where you see that collage of all of the major characters and makes you go, what a splendid journey we've all been on. Also, I missed this the first time around, but we get to see Raizo. That was important because he was also sucked dry by Ryukugyu, but it looks like
yeah, Green Ball nearly like did him in.
His chonky ninja self, which I could not be more happy about. Do not touch my chonk ninja. It's perfect as is. And sadly, the time has come for our worst generation.
Kid Law and Luffy, the funny little argument they had with the boat.
Without being complete and uttered children, very much mimicking their contest with Big Mom's fireballs. And then realized they made a huge mistake was so great because you can read all of their faces perfectly. Especially Luffy's expression, which is just something like, I never expected taking the unsafe option would result in danger. But yeah, I'm really going to miss this trio. I think that Luffy, Law, and Kid have an even more fun dynamic than Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro. Said Sanji.
Do you think, though? That's interesting.
I'm very excited to be taking a break from Law and Kid. Not that I don't like them.
No, but it'd be nice to have them come back. Take a break from them, they can come back.
With that said, this might not be the very last we see of them. There could be a brief section in the next chapter where they actually part ways. But
yeah, where they're setting off on the journey now.
And that's also why I don't want to put too much stock into seeing the Big Mom pirates again, because given that we're headed down the waterfall, it would be fairly natural to encounter them, because that's where they've spent the last 4 years of our real world time. So I'm hoping that they'll be sailing up the waterfall again just in time to be knocked down by our worst generation ships. I mean, great comedy, it comes in threes, and I think it would make my life to see the Big Mom pirates fall down that waterfall one more time. But personally, I just feel exhausted in the best possible way. Even though the end of Wano has clearly been rapidly approaching, this chapter was still a huge exhale for me. To think that we finally completed this journey is just insane. There's just been so much I've loved about Wano, too much to name individually, really. With that said, there's also been some things that I'm not so fond of, quite a few.
Here we go.
This chapter, actually. And I also can't deny the feeling that this whole ending has been a bit abrupt and rushed. However, with such a massive chunk of story, it's going to be important to give it time to breathe. And I'm really looking forward to rereading Wano and being able to get some perspective on how it all works together when you're not forced to break up your reading over the course of 200 weeks. So there will definitely be I don't want to call it a review, but I guess a retrospective on Wano coming up. But for now, we are looking forward, because the final saga of One Piece begins next week. But
which is crazy.
Here is another video. It's good, perhaps even great, and I look forward to seeing you there.
So yeah, next week we start the final story of One Piece, which is crazy. Because like I said, I've only been into this last like year and a bit, whilst living in this house. And it's kind of ironic that Wano has finished the same time that my ex finally moved out of the house. Weird. But yeah, anyway, Wano was boss. I'm looking forward to seeing how we go next time. I'm glad that I'm at a point now where I'm going to be experiencing the final part of One Piece weekly as it comes out. That's a special thing. That's cool. So anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, I upload links in the description of the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and really leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.